Hi guys, this is the life and crimes of the Avoidant. I'm going to tell you about the time the Avoidant tried to steal my dog. We were heading towards the end of this relationship. It was not going well. And like most responsible adults, in order to save a failing relationship, we decided to have a baby. Baby was a dog, right? She had to have this dog. Said she was going to pay for the dog. Wouldn't you believe it? We get down to the breeder in order to get this dog that I thought was already paid for. Shocker! She's $1,500 short. I end up having to pay for the dog. So I'm spending most of my time taking care of this dog. I love this dog. 3 or 4 months after we get this dog, the avoidant leaves, right? Completely abandons this dog. Never like asked me about a bill, how the dog's doing, nothing. I'm like, okay, you've moved on. I'm totally fine with that. Now, I thought when she had moved on, since she abandoned the dog, she would put the dog chip in my name because she abandoned the dog. She did not. This comes into play later. So one day, about a year or so down the road, post discard, my dog gets out of the house. Probably the kids left the door open, something like that. I live in a great neighborhood, right? So I was not home at the time. So my neighbors found the dog. They called the pound, and the pound came. And luckily, like one of my neighbors was there. Like one of my other neighbors was there who knows me very well was there. When one of my other neighbors who doesn't know me that well found my dog. So they do the chip on the dog. The avoidance name comes up. There's a dog catcher, right? And my neighbors are there. So they call up this avoidant and they say, "Hey, we got this dog." And the avoidant's like, "Stay there. I'll take this dog." Now, thankfully, my other neighbor was there, and my other neighbor was like, "Oh, that dog doesn't live with her. That dog lives with him. That dog lives in that house over there." And so the dog catcher goes, "Lady, like I gotta take the dog to where he lives. Like you can't just take this dog." Thankfully, my neighbors were there, told the whole thing about how she has not been there for a year, weird situation, yada yada yada. So I this is one of the few times I was working on location. So I get the call from a neighbor like, "Hey, like we got the dog. We were gonna put the dog in your house, but you're not there. Like just like come get the dog. Like the dog's gonna be with the dog catcher. We know the dog catcher. Dog catcher's a great guy." So I leave work. I go to um the dog was out with the dog catcher. Meet up with the dog catcher, and you can see that the dog catcher is visibly shaken. And he pulled up a bunch of information. He's like, if your neighbor hadn't been there, we would have given that dog to that woman, and we would have felt horrible. And he's like, "Here's the chip number. Here's what you have to do. Here's who you have to call. You have to get this chip in your name ASAP." So thankfully, got the information. I pay the $25. My dog was in captivity. I should say in a cage, maybe an hour. But you could tell like everyone's shaking up. Now I got a part two to this story if you guys want to hear. When I had to get the chip in my name, which is even weirder than this story. Let me know if you want to hear part two. Follow for more cool stuff in the story.